How to go broke on $1 million a year. For the last 7 years, I made at least $1 million a year. Never less, never more than 1.6 million. Year 8 rolled around and I finally had the realization this is unsustainable. So we shut down the business and declared bankruptcy. I'm Ray Edwards. Welcome to my masterclass. Naturally, you're thinking, how does that even happen, Ray? What did you do with all that money? Simple. I spent it on the business. At its peak, we had 17 employees, a 3,500 square foot office, and I was jet setting around the world, speaking, shaking hands, and making deals. Then life threw me a curveball. Parkinson's disease. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a progressive, incurable neurodegenerative disorder. You've probably seen the Tremors. You've probably seen Michael J. Fox. Did this slow me down? No. I worked harder. Then, 2 major surgeries. Number 1, rotator cuff repair. Pro tip, do not fall down the stairs when you've had your rotator cuff repaired. It hurts like heck. And surgery number 2, brain surgery. Deep brain stimulation to help control my Parkinson's symptoms. Electrodes in my brain, you can see here and here. A controller in my chest is here. They flipped on the switch January 12, 2023, and bam, I could walk, talk, and drive again. Magic. Sometimes, just to remind myself how bad it was, I turn the unit off. It's a trip. DBS doesn't stop the disease. Degeneration goes on while DBS masks the symptoms. Meanwhile, my business still needed $100,000 a month to keep running. I made some questionable operational choices. Tony Robbins says the biggest constraint on any business is the psychology of the founder. Translation: if you're running the show and you're a hot mess, your business is probably a hot mess too. But nobody pulls the founder aside and says, hey, bud, you need some therapy. Maybe go do some Wim Hof breath work, or maybe have an ayahuasca trip to Aubrey Marcus. Just sort yourself out. Instead, dysfunction spreads. And boy, did my dysfunction spread. I look back now and I realize I knew something was wrong. And I had coached clients out of making these same dumb mistakes, overpaying the staff, spending recklessly, ignoring financial red flags. Through a haze of irrational exuberance, I pressed on. And yet, there I was being that guy. I could, if I wanted, construct some stories, making it not my fault. But I won't. I've preached for years that I'm 100% responsible for everything in my life. So yeah, I didn't cause Parkinson's. I didn't cause the pandemic. I wasn't trying to go broke, but I did make less than stellar decisions. And before I knew it, I was $1 million in debt, and a large chunk of that money was owed to the IRS. I tried to fight my way out. I was going to pay everything off, but Parkinson's doesn't care about my stubbornness. I have about 5 good hours of work in me every day. After that, my brain and body are tapped out. That's my reality. I had to admit I couldn't pull this one out, and I filed bankruptcy. Now let me pause right there. You're probably thinking, why are you telling me this, Ray? Fair question. I'm aware most people don't care. And that's fine. You've got your own stuff to deal with. But if you are listening, it's probably because some part of my story resonates with you. Maybe it's the financial mess. Maybe it's the health struggle. Maybe it's that feeling of, I thought I'd be somewhere else by now. And if any of that is you, or you feel drawn to this, you don't know why, here's what I need you to hear. It's not over yet. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. You can rebuild. If you're still here, God's not done with you yet. You have more value to the marketplace now than ever before. I've been through hell this past year. My business collapsed. My body betrayed me. Friends I thought were solid disappeared when things got tough. But you know what? I'm still here. I refuse to be a victim. I refuse to let any of this define me. I will not sit around whining and waiting for sympathy. Instead, I'm focused on what I can control. Here's what I know for sure. One, money doesn't fix your problems if you don't fix yourself. I made $1 million a year and still went broke. Think about that. 2, your business will only be as healthy as you are. If you're a mess, it'll show up in your work, finances, relationships. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a behavior problem. That was me. I made money easily. I just spent it even easier. Number 4, debt makes you a slave. The Bible says it. I lived it. Never again. Number 5, you can change. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been stuck. I don't care how many times you've quit and fallen back off the wagon. You're not doomed to continue repeating your past. So here's the deal. I'm rebuilding, not just financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I want to bring you along if you're interested. If you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or like you should be further along, this could help. Let's talk. Not because I have all the answers, but I do know good questions. And I know what it's like to hit rock bottom. I also know what it's like to start climbing out of there. So stick around, subscribe, join the conversation. And remember, you are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You can change. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay salty, my friends.